Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, I hope you are having a fantastic day and a great start to your weekend. My name is Teresa and I love all things makeup, beauty and skincare, so on the weekends I like to hang out with you guys and talk about the newest releases in that category. Of course I can't and won't talk about everything, and you guys help me to filter through the stuff to the things that we find a little bit more interesting. So a massive thank you to everyone who has tagged me, DM'd me, emailed me, whatever mode of communication. I super appreciate it and your names are being displayed right now. A massive thank you also to my YouTube community members. By the way lads, in case you didn't know, we're going to have a live tomorrow, which is a Sunday, probably about 2 p.m, so I can have a little bit of a sleep in and question my life choices. But I thought it would be nice because I'm after like having a whole week back at job number 1, so I thought it would be nice to just chill out with you guys and see what the story is, etc, etc. But you know the general drill, we have a few things to talk about, so we have to remind ourselves to stay hydrated, and I have a steaming cup of beautiful tea. Lions, in case you're wondering. There's always like a Lions versus Barry's sort of a situation going on. I'm amenable to both, I don't mind. The mug du jour is this very cute one, again from Tesco. If you can't tell, I love a good Tesco mug. And I will also say, Jenny, there was that black cat vase, and I did purchase it, and I'm very, very pleased with my life choices. But my gorgeous friends, let's just get straight into it. This first one, I had a little bit of a when I saw it. This is Makeup a Murder, and they put this over on their Instagram. They said, this is a post we never thought we'd have to make. Murder Shop's case is officially closing August 31st. What began as a dream became a beautiful crime scene that so many of you travelled across the world to see. So basically they were saying, hey, we're closing up. And initially when I read that, I was like, oh my god, wait, I think you're closing everything? No, they had a physical store, so they're closing the physical store, but the online shop is still a thing. So I think there were a few people kind of going, oh, but no, you can still get their stuff. It's fine, but just if you were ever wanting to make it to their physical store, it's no longer a thing and we just have to live with it. But they are still trading it. Oh, this next one. I'm sorry, I'm so excited about this. How many times have I talked about Face? I've been like, it's so annoying because I can't get their stuff. I can now because Space NK are now stocking About Face. Can you tell how excited I am? I've already made a basket of about 250 euro worth of stuff that I'm like, how am I going to afford this? And I'm like, well, I don't drink, so do I really need that second kidney? Like, that seems a little bit overkill. Like, I'm just being greedy having 2 kidneys. But yes, About Face are over on Space NK and I am so grossly excited. Like, really, I've filled my little basket with a lot of things, like the foundation, the locket, eyeshadow paints, the multi-chrome things. Basically, I've somewhat lost my mind, just gone, put it all in, put it all in. So anyways, I needed you guys to know this. Also Gillian, I don't know if you know this because myself and Gillian do talk back and forth about these sorts of things, and I know Gillian enjoys About Face too, so we now have options, and isn't that a wonderful thing for us? But let's get into the newness, and oh my god, I'm so excited about this. I can't cope. It's actually currently available over on Kryptein Cosmetics' own website. I don't know when they're going to be over on C Beauty Mall, but I'm keeping my disgusting little eyes out. This is Kryptein Cosmetics Emerald Collection, and it's an eyeshadow palette and a highlighter. The highlighter is $25, apparently the 36mm. They say that that's before there's like price adjustments based on, you know, obviously location, tariff, blah blah blah. And the Emerald City eyeshadow palette is $59, again before price adjustment. And if you guys know me, you know that I'm looking at this and it is just speaking to every part of my disgusting decrepit little soul. It's green, it's green. I'm so excited. Also, Mimi, super teeny, my love, weren't you talking about wanting like a green highlighter? This one looks interesting. I'm going to talk about the eyeshadow palette first because I can and I want to, and it's my channel. Oh my goodness, I have a few Kryptein Cosmetics palettes, and what I will say is I bought one and then very shortly after bought several more because the quality is so fucking good. It's so good. I looked at this in the pan and I was like, that looks quite nice. And then, then the swatches, lads. I mean, there's a nice amount of depth, there's a nice amount of light in there. And don't get me wrong, the mattes are beautiful, really like the mattes, but those shimmers, oh my god, my inner magpie is just sitting here being like, can we roll in it? What do we do? Like, what's the protocol? What do we do here? You guys know I love green. I love green so much. I'm way too excited. This is actually like, I'm having to try and center myself. But I can't actually, I'm so excited. $59 $12 for a £12 palette. That feels like it's not too bad, like it's about $5 per shade. And for me, I feel like when we're looking at those multi-chromy bits, that feels about right. Those shades, my God. And I will also say my experience of the mattes, they are very, very good. They're very, very good. But they do get outshone both metaphorically and literally by the duochromes and metallics, etc. that are in the palette. Not anything bad with the matte. Like I said, it's just the duochromes are so good that you're like, oh my God. And you kind of forget that there's mattes in there. But those mattes are gorgeous. I am. I'm so excited. Like that, there's like I'm so excited. I can't even like verbalize the words. I've waited to try to talk about this because I knew I was going to get way too excited. Yeah, I'm having to really calm myself down. There is like a neon-y green in there that flips to like a purpley blue, and oh my God, I love that so much. It's not even funny how much I love this. I mean, I've gotten really excited about a lot of sea beauty stuff over the last couple of months. And I thought like I had hit like the heights, you know, with the Neuracorn, with Cheery Up, etc. I thought that was like the heights. No, it's this one. This one is actually like, this is the one. This is it. This is the palette to end all of the green palettes. I'm so excited about this. It's not even funny. I will obviously be purchasing this. I'm going to get it through Sea Beauty Mall because I just kind of trust them at this point. I love it. I love it. And the highlighter. Oh, sweet Jesus. How gorgeous is that? And I love how they've kind of like swatched it so that it's very, very opaque, but then they've also like shimmered it out or swatched it out so that it's way more floaty. I can't think of the words because I'm just so excited. Oh, I want both of these, which I'm very annoyed about because it's like, them's pricey things, Teresa, but they are so beautiful. I love the minty greenness of this. I love those sort of shades that lean a little bit more cool toned because it just suits my complexion. I don't know if it'll suit yours, but it suits mine, and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm very sorry if it doesn't suit yours, but oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous. And they've also included videos, etc., so you can see how they operate. And I love the look of this, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I know we've seen a lot of like neutral stuff, and there's nothing wrong with neutral stuff. Sometimes you want a bit of neutral, but it does get to a point where you're like, Jesus, have we forgotten how to do like interesting things? And the brand comes out with something like this, and you go, yeah, this is it. This is the full 3-course meal that I have been waiting for. I am so excited about this. Could they have come out with more stuff as part of this? Yeah, I mean, probably, because I'm a greedy bitch. They could have come out with like a green gloss as well. But you know what? This is all done so well that I'm not going to get annoyed about it. Like, when do I ever say like they could have done more things? Very, very rare. Very rare. But I trust Kryptein. That's the issue. I'm like, if this came out from any other brand, I'd be like, I don't know, but I know what their quality is like. Like I said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? 6 Kryptein palettes? 5 or 6 Kryptein palettes? Like I said, I bought one and then it just all fell apart. It was like, oh God, Teresa, what are you doing? I'm getting this by hell or high water. I'm going to keep an eye out on Sea Beauty Mall to see when it comes out. You guys know I'm a disgusting, filthy affiliate. You can use my code for money off. That's what I'm planning on doing. Because I also will not pay full price. Yeah, I love this. It's probably one of the things that I have been the most excited about in a really long time. And sometimes I go through these cycles of just not being that into like makeup and releases, and then something like this comes along and I'm like, oh, never mind. I take it all back. This is gorgeous. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So yeah, that's it for me. Super excited. We then have NYX Cosmetics. So apparently they're really zhuzhing up things because obviously they're trying to take over the drugstore market, to each their own. This is the Lingerie Lip Liner Stain. Did you like the way I said lingerie? I don't know. I'm in a weird, I've been stimming all day, so I'm a bit all over the place. Anyways, there's 12 shades, they're $12 each, so they're not going to break the bank. I quite like the look of these because some of them are very cool toned. You guys know, I'm always looking for cool toned things, but then they also have some nice like berry toned tones in there. I'm very interested in some of the greyish ones here as well. So they say that there's a precision ballpoint felt tip. Interesting. We'll see what the story is. I mean, there's been some issues with like these sort of felt lip stain things drying out before. Huda, I'm looking at you, so I don't know what the story is here with this one. I'm going to keep an eye out. Like, I know $12 is not wildly expensive, but it's still like, I don't want to waste $12 either, you know, let's not do that. They say it's an all-day lip staining power, which I would hope so. I get that with the Sachu lip stains. They're really, really good. I like the look of this. They say that there's a silk smooth feel, there's no peel liquid lip liner. So that's the difference between, say, the Sachu. The Sachu is a peel lip liner, but this one isn't, which I quite like the idea of because it's a little bit less like messy and finicky, etc. It apparently melts onto your lips like silk for easy glide application and comfortable lightweight wear. Ooh, I do like the idea of this. And if you go over on the website, I haven't included the pictures because it's 12 shades and that's too much. Well, it's not that it's too much, it's just I'm a lazy bitch and I can't be bothered to go through all of them, but they do show you the outline of them, like that you could use them as lip liners, so you get a good idea as to what they look like. As you can see, there are a few slightly more cool toned, or at least they look like they're cool toned. When they're swatched out, they don't look as cool toned, but I'm taking all of that with a pinch of salt because it does kind of depend as to your undertones, etc. And it does look like the people that they're swatching these on have slightly more warm toned arms. So again, taking that with a bit of a pinch of salt. I am very, very, very intrigued. Like, the shades that I'm interested in, there's just 2 shades. Do you want to guess? Yeah, it's Lip Lock and Wild Side, because I just think they're really, really interesting. I also don't hate Up All Night and Hot and Heavy. I think it's good. Here's the thing, right? I feel like it would be really, really smart of them if they did like a vault of these. They probably will, because it's coming up to Christmas. It's September and I'm saying it's coming up to Christmas, but whatever. In retail senses, they've been thinking about this since July. But something like this, if it was put together in a sort of a vault for like, we'll just say $120 instead of $144, I feel like that would be pretty good. Like, people would get some good use out of that, maybe, or at least, you know, you could buy it and share it amongst people. The only problem with like buying it and sharing it amongst people is that, you know, you might have friends that would want the same shades as you, because like, say for instance, I would think about this, and I know if I did this with my friend Daniela, we would both be like, I want Lip Lock, I want Wild Side, blah, blah, blah. She'd definitely let me have Up All Night and Hot and Heavy, because she'd be like, yeah, I don't care about those, but there would be a very intense fight about Lip Lock and Wild Side. I lie, we don't actually fight, but like in this scenario for this purpose, you know. But I think they should do some sort of like a bundle deal, because I was on Jordana Tisha, that's right, I did get those jelly shimmer sticks. They're gorgeous, and they had a bundle thing where like every one that you added on, it took off like 10% or 15% the more you added on. I think they should do something like that, that if you buy 2 you get like, say, 10% off a third and blah blah blah. That'd be kind of smart in my opinion. I'll see what the story is. I want to see what the longevity is. How much use can you get out of that? Again, we saw the whole thing with Huda and everything drying up really, really quickly, but I don't hate the idea of this, and it's affordable, so I'm here for it. The next thing then is Makeup by Mario. So he's obviously had a foundation before, but this time he's changed it up. The existing SurrealSkin still exists, but this is now the SurrealSkin Natural Finish Foundation, because the previous one was like a luminous sort of a one. So if you're not into that, I personally like a luminous one. If you're more into more of that matte natural finish, this might be something that you're interested in. The coverage is apparently medium and it's giving up to 16 hours of hydration. So even though it has a little bit more of a matte finish, it's not like 2016 matte where it's going to dry out your skin, which is quite nice. Apparently there's shine controlling polymers and lightweight micro powders. There's glycerin and raspberry extract, which lock in moisture and enhance skin's hydration, and vitamin E, an antioxidant which is known to protect the skin barrier. And it looks like we have quite a few shades here. They're available right now, $48 each. And initially I was like, oh, I don't know about the shade range, but when I saw it on the model I was like, oh, oh, actually, it does look like it goes quite deep. Like it looks like it's pretty good. I like the look of this. I do. I will say I don't kind of go for matte natural finish foundations that often, but I think the price point of this is not bad at all. Like $48. I don't know how many mils you can get. Sure, you can find that out. It's not a big issue. Yeah, there's a decent shade range in here as well. Again, take those kind of swatches on the arm with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because it's always going to look a little bit different when it's on the face. And hopefully, I'm showing you right now. These are the shades on the fairest, like the fairest shade, and then the deepest shade. So it does look like it goes quite deep, and they look beautiful. They do look natural. I will say they've taken two gorgeous models who have beautiful skin to start off with. So I'm kind of like, I'd have liked to have seen some people with maybe like some hyperpigmentation, blah, blah, blah. That's just me being a little bit pernickety, etc. I do like the look of it though. It does look nice. I haven't tried the SurrealSkin Luminous Foundation yet, but I've heard some good things about it. So I don't think it's bad. Yeah, not a bad one. This next one, oh my god. What do I even say about this? This is weird. This is SHEGLAM and a collaboration with Superman, who is very well known for his love of primers, apparently. Anyways, they have their Superman SHEGLAM Good Grip Cool Soothing Primer. It's like those, you know, titles on Amazon listings of like, good, cool, quinceañera, debutante, prom dress. Like, we don't need to have all of those words. It's €8.54. It's meant to be gripping, although when I was over on the SHEGLAM website, it said it's griping, G-R-I-P-I-N-G, and I was like, you need to have somebody spell check. This is ridiculous. Then they also have the Superman SHEGLAM Good Grip Glow Illuminating Primer. That's the one that comes in the red bottle, and that's €8.54. But if you went, I like the two of those, I would like both of them, you can get the pair for €21.37. Now, if you're very fast with your math, in which case I'm very impressed, you will know that if you bought them both singularly, it would add up to being €17.08. So that means that buying the duo, you're spending an extra €4.29, presumably just to get a box, which seems extremely foolish to me. I don't really understand it. I just think sometimes some of these IPs are just the fucking weirdest things that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they look okay. I mean, what else can I say about it other than, I guess it's a primer. It does what it does. They've got quite a few primers in their arsenal in the nicest way. Who cares? But I just thought this was so effing weird. I haven't seen the new Superman film. I don't know what the story is, but I guess they're trying to capitalize on that. But yeah, in the nicest way possible. What a fucking weird collab and a weird IP to use. I truly don't understand it, but it seems that maybe they don't either. It's just the fact that even like selling it for a duo at an increased price is really weird. Like, they've shown the before and afters and they look grand. You know, it's less than €9 for a primer, so I guess it's not too bad. And Boots are now selling SHEGLAM. I don't know if they're going to get this in it. I don't know what the story is. Personally, I don't care. I think it's a bit meh, but it's just a weird collab, in my opinion. And I was talking to somebody recently and they were saying, I love Hoa Hoa season. And I was like, what do you mean Hoa Hoa season? They're like, you know, Hoa Hoa Hoa. That's right, it's Twilight, and I'm very sorry for singing at you very, very badly. But everyone has tried to take on the Twilight IP. We've had Colourpop, we've had Glamlite, and now we have SHEGLAM yet again, because apparently Superman wasn't enough, so now it's Twilight. So there you go. And they kind of sneak peeked it by kind of going, here's a blue filter. And honestly, the blue filter card is the most interesting thing out of this collection. And yet I'm going to talk about it anyways, because content, you know. As part of this, there's the Eternal Love palette for €6.83. There's the Vamp Skin highlighter drops for €5.12. The Forbidden Love liquid blush for €6.83. There's 3 shades of the Immortality lip tint. They're €5.12 each. The Premonition roll-on lip oil for €5.12. Forever setting spray for €6.83. And there's the Soulmates solid perfume, which apparently is woody and earthy in its scent, for €3.84. If you like the whole thing and you really, really want to have that blue filter card, which isn't sold separately, that's €47.87. I mean, you gotta hand it to them. It's cheap. I guess IP is cheap these days, although it does make you kind of wonder, how cheaply are they making this stuff for? Let's start with the eyeshadow palette. It is fine. You know, there's something about this that kind of reminds me of Makeup Revolution. Remember when they had that kind of grey toned palette? It was not quite vampire style, but there was something, and I would say it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's a long time ago, but it kind of reminds me of that. It looks okay. Very hard to get any like proper images of what it looks like without all of the annoying watermarks on it. I know I talk about this all the time, but it really annoys me. The shade names are generic, you know, Team Edward, Team Jacob, somebody who had a very cursory knowledge of the IP. You know, I do appreciate that it is quite blue toned, which kind of links in with the first movie and the fact that everything was done through a really interesting blue filter. But the palette itself, don't care. The price point is actually pretty apt for it. You know, if it was any more expensive, I would be like, what the fuck is going on? It's fine, but I don't care. And I think that's the most I can say there. In terms of the highlighter drops, I mean, we knew that they were going to do something like this. It's the whole thing with Twilight and the shiny skin and blah, blah, blah. Which is like, yeah, most teenagers do have shiny skin, but for very different reasons. I will say, one of the models, it looks like she bathed in it. It's a lot. It's a lot on her face. Like, it is shiny. And then in others, I'm kind of like, oh, how much of this did you do based upon the filter? And I know that they're going for the look of Twilight, but they've also kind of edited it in such a way that that's not how it's going to look like in reality, because you have put through all of that lighting and the blue filter, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's okay. It's fine. It's not wildly expensive. Personally, I don't really tend to use like liquid highlighters anymore. I used to back in the day, but not now because I'm old and my skin's a bitch like me. So it's all just kind of working out in that way. In terms of the blush, I mean, it's grand. They've had quite a few of these blushes. It does show from the application on the face that you can sheer it out. Like if you look at the model down on the bottom right hand corner, it looks quite fair on her, and then if you look at the model on the top right, it's much more thickly applied, so it does show that it's quite buildable. I had quite a few of the SHEGLAM blushes. I got rid of them. I just was like, I'm not really using them. This doesn't make sense. I re-gifted them to somebody else who I knew would get way more use out of them. It's not bad. It looks relatively okay, but was it necessary? No. They have 50 million blushes. This was not necessary. In further news of what is not necessary, these lip tints. And you might be kind of saying, Teresa, why do you have the same one done 3 times? No, these are all of the 3 different shades. Yeah, that's put in front of you. Now you would hope that when you see them on the lips that they'd look a little bit different, and they do, kind of. I will say that Bitten and Heartbeat, in my opinion, look too similar to each other. That's my 2 cents. Feel free to disagree. I feel like Wolfpack looks relatively different, although when you get to the deeper skin, you're like, oh, these all look quite similar. I personally feel like they could have just gone with Wolfpack and Bitten, and you didn't need anything more than that. You can see it even when it's swatched out on the arm. They do look a little bit different. This is why we need lip swatches, because they look so different when they're on the lips versus the arm. It's not necessary, but I can't fucking stand these sort of things. Like, you don't need to have 50 million of these things. It's fine. It's a lip tint. It's not going to change your life. It's all right. It's fine, you know. But when you're coming out with 3 shades, maybe have them be a little bit more different. It could have been cool if they'd gone with a lip tint that was more cool toned, like blue. That would have been really interesting, you know. If you're going to go with something that is all about a blue filter, that'd be interesting. The fucking roll-on lip oil. There's something so juvenile about this. It's very much giving, I got this free in a magazine, and I don't think I can quite verbalize how much I hate this sort of thing, but it really annoys me. It might be a fantastic product, but there's something about the execution of it that really annoys me, and I feel like I've already talked about this much more than I'm happy to talk about it, because I think it's very foolish. In terms of the setting spray, I mean, grand. The packaging, I'm going to be honest here, annoys me because I wouldn't know how to store that. You know, it'd just fall down all the time, and that just seems a little bit foolish to me. I get that maybe are they looking for people to put this on a keychain? That seems a bit strange. Who's wandering around with setting spray on a keychain? You wouldn't need setting spray on a keychain, because surely your setting spray should do you for the day, you know? They are talking about an 8-hour wear comparison. Yeah, grand, whatever. Just not necessary. The solid perfume is an interesting one. Like, it's a necklace, but then there's the solid perfume in it, and they do say there's some nice notes in this. Like, I don't hate the sound of it. Like, you know, there's cardamom, there's sandalwood, there's cedarwood as the top notes. The heart notes are violet, papyrus, and then the base notes are leather, amber, and orris. And I like the sound of that. I don't hate it, but I don't want to wander around with a necklace that says SHEGLAM on it and then have it open up and have a fucking weird picture of Bella and Edward in it. You know, I just can't quite figure out who this is for. Are there genuinely fans of this IP that are that into it that would be like, yes, I like the look of this, I want to have that? It seems very strange to me and finicky. And I'm just thinking about how you would even like recycle that once you're done with it. What's the story there? And I love fragrances. I've gotten really into fragrances. I go through a love-hate, like, well, not a love-hate, but like I go through a love and then a don't care so much. And I was in my don't care so much for about 2 or 3 years, and now I'm right back into the obsessively loving it. But this is an odd one. In terms of the whole collection, I mean, I'm going to say something really weird. Colourpop did it better. Colourpop are like, what? We did something better? Weirdly, I do think they did it better. Glamlite definitely did it better. But Glamlite tend to do their IPs pretty darn well. They do too many, but they do it pretty well. This is meh at best. That is the highest compliment that I can pay it. I will not remember this in a year's time, partly because of the aging process and partly because this is just fucking forgettable, right? It just is. It looks cheap, and I get that it is like a cheap brand, but you can do these things and not make them look cheap. It's mostly that fucking necklace perfume thing that's making me kind of go, ugh. They did not need to put SHEGLAM on it. That was weird. Don't do that. I think I get annoyed. I get annoyed by a lot of things. I get annoyed by things that just have their logo all over them and they expect us to wear them, you know? Like, I'm not going around and advertising your shit for free. Like, that's weird. Like, give us a big discount if that's what you're wanting from us. Yeah, in general, I don't care. I just don't. What a meh collection. Then, oh my god, I died when I saw this. Victoria Beckham, the people's princess, some might say, has come out with her own, essentially, foundation drops. And it's kind of in collaboration with Augustinus Bader. A lot of her like makeup has Augustinus Bader stuff in it, and it's quite interesting because there's this claim that there's a lot of skincare stuff in it, but the science behind it is like, I don't want to say questionable, but it's very cloak and daggers and not very clear as to what's going on. All of that to say, these are foundation drops that have TFC8, which they have essentially patented, it's copyrighted, all of that sort of thing. The TFC8 is meant to be skin cell rejuvenating. I don't know. I have my questions on that. The science on it seems a little bit weird. Anyways, it's a luminous light coverage. There's 19 shades, which initially I was like, I don't know about this. Is that going to be enough? But it does look like it goes quite deep and it does go quite fair, to which, you know, fair enough. And it is light coverage, so you can get away with lesser shade range. They say it's clinically proven skin benefits. Again, you can tag the word clinically onto pretty much anything. Like, people do mess around with data sets, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. 12-hour luminous finish, all that sort of thing. Here's the terrifying thing, right? It's not that, I was going to say the terrifying thing is that it's made in Italy. That's not the terrifying thing. That's them trying to justify what is the terrifying thing, which is the price tag. We know that like stuff that comes from Italy in terms of makeup tends to be really, really good, but is it as good as this price tag? Because this price tag, and don't get me wrong, I will pay money for good foundation, skincare, etc. I do, and I don't love it, but I will do it because I think they're worth investing in. For 30 mils of product, 30 mils, you pay $110. $110. That's like La Mer stuff. And can I also remind you guys that from what I remember, La Mer don't do foundations anymore because their fucking price tag was so ridiculous. $110. Come on now, lads. Come on. I mean, I'm thinking of some of the brands that are very, very high end, you know, your likes of Dior, Armani, Guerlain, Shiseido. Very, very well known in terms of their foundation, and they're about half the price. Maybe a little bit more than half the price. And I don't really question them too much on that because actually their stuff is really, really good. Unfortunately, I do tend to go for more expensive foundations. It's what I like. But $110 for what is, and it's not even really a foundation. They're calling these foundation drops. Let's call it what it is. It's skin tint, because you're saying it's light coverage. $110. And they're claiming there's a bit of skincare in it. Girlies, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Rejuvenating breakthrough skin cell bullshit. I'm sorry. There's nothing out there that actually really does that. I get that they have this proprietary technology, and I don't know what's going on between Victoria and Augustina Spader and how she's managed to do this, because I know even when it came down to her concealer, she had the TFC8 stuff in it as well. But I'm all right, lads. Like, she really is posh spice. And she's like, yes, people will pay $110 for foundation drops. No, we won't, Vicky. That's mental. That's absolutely... Well, people are struggling to keep electricity on. $110. Mind you, people who are struggling to keep electricity on are not going to be buying this sort of thing, but like, it's weird. Genuinely. Like, it looks fine on the models. Again, the models are beautiful. I'd have liked to have seen before and afters, but they didn't have before and afters. I don't care. I'd sooner get the makeup on Mario, which is less than half the price. That's $48 versus $110. The world is insane, and I don't know what's happening, but there you go. The next thing, this was really odd, or at least I think it's really odd. I saw this over on Trend Mood, so I've stolen all their pictures and smashed it together in a really weird sort of a way. Mugler, you know, the fashion brand, they used to do makeup, but then they stopped doing makeup, and now they've done a collaboration. And you might be thinking, who could Mugler, that high-end fashion brand, possibly have collaborated with? L'Oreal. L'Oreal. Weird. It would be like if Gucci collaborated with McDonald's. It's just not the thing that I would have thought would have occurred. It's a very, very odd collaboration. Apparently a limited edition colour cosmetics collection that's inspired by the Mugler archives, and it includes a couple of different things. There's Soft Glow Cushion Foundation in 10 shades. Oh, how very inclusive. How wonderful. There's the Magnetic Radiance Stick, which is a magnetic highlighting stick that melts into skin, adding shine and multi-dimensional shimmer. There's 2 shades of that. Yay! Inclusivity! We don't know you. There's the Spectrum eyeshadow palettes. There's the Nude collection, which is more warm neutrals, and the Midnight collection, which is cool shades, the Augmented Volume Mascara, the Sculptural Felt Liner, and then there's 4 shades of Power Matte Lipstick. So there's Nude 01, which is a light pink nude, Nude 02, a warm pink nude, Nude 03, a deep brown nude, and Red 1974, an iconic vivid red. I mean, like I said, I would not have seen this coming. Can I tell you the first thing that popped to my mind when I saw the packaging of this? The only thing that hints that it's Mugler is the fact that it says Mugler. When I saw this, all I could think of was, find your local Avon representative, because that's what the packaging is giving. It just does look like door-to-door salesman sort of makeup, and it's so weird. Genuinely very, very weird. I don't understand what's happening or who thought to do this. Odd in terms of, I mean, where do I even, I don't want to talk about this too long. I just thought it was really fucking weird. In terms of the eyeshadow palettes, if they're anything over a tenner, that is overpriced. I'm sorry. It looks terrible. Absolutely. And when is the last time anyways anyone went to L'Oreal for an eyeshadow? I can't remember. They're okay for like their foundations and like lipsticks and stuff, but beyond that I don't really hear much about them. Oh, the mascara. We all remember the mascara stuff. But other than that, you don't really hear people talking about them. It's ugly. It's ugly. Like, it does look like it's back in time. I get that they're like saying, let's go back through archives, but it's like, there are some things that should stay in the past, like misogyny and sexism and this collection. The lips, I mean, they're grand. I will say they look like the slightly better things as part of this collection. I don't hate that. I actually think that's quite nice. I would pick up the red because I'm me and that's what I like. And frankly, if you're questioning that, you haven't watched me for long enough. In terms of the foundations, like I said, 10 shades. What the fuck are you talking about? That's utterly ridiculous. The highlighters, they look like they're subtle AF, which I guess, in the nicest way possible. I don't really care. And then of course they have that felt liner jigger. It's all very blah and confusing and a little bit strange. If you had asked me about whether or not Mugler would do a makeup collection, I'd say, yeah, I could see that maybe happening and they'd bring some stuff back, but I would have never thought that they would collaborate with Loreal, of all things. Like, this is just a weird collection. There's absolutely nothing that I would run out and get. Like, even the lipsticks, I'm like, yeah, they're fine, but I'm not sitting there going, I'm gonna have a countdown on my phone to tell me when this is coming out. This is, as I said, Avon. It looks like something from an Avon catalogue. I don't like it. It looks really, really cheap. Which is weird. Like I said, it's Mugler, which is a well-known brand, and then it's Loreal. So I guess Loreal really took over and went, let's make this cheap. I don't understand this. I truly don't, and I don't know who wanted this, but this is the world we live in. Just more nonsense. The least nonsensical stuff that we've had to deal with, but it is still nonsense nonetheless. And we have some more drugstore stuff. This time it's from Wet n Wild, and I did take this from Point Click Vibes. They had curated all of this information and I hugely appreciate it. And frankly, they did a better job than I could, so I'm going to present their stuff to you guys. There's a lot of stuff in this. It's a Wet n Wild Disney Villains collection, and everything is priced between $5 to $19, so there's nothing more expensive than $20. Talking about eyeshadow palettes, there's plumping lip glosses, cream blushes, jelly highlighters, colour changing lip balms, you know my feelings on those, makeup bags, dual-ended lip masks and scrubs, dual-ended contour sticks, hand mirrors, a mirror with a kickstand, mascaras, eyeliners, face gems, finishing shimmer mists, and a duo silicone blender sponge. They're available right now over on Walmart, but not on Wet n Wild's own website, which is kind of par for the course because I was talking about Wet n Wild just the other week and I also couldn't find their previous collection that they had just talked about on Wet n Wild's own website, but it is over on Walmart, so if you are interested, there you go. As to whether or not this will come over to Europe, who even knows? Let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes first. So the Fiery Femmes Eye and Face palette, oh my god, I really like the look of that. And I think it's because there's that green in there. If I take that green out, I'm not as interested. That's how you get me, is like that sort of a tone of green. I'm like, oh, I'm interested. But I am learning to try to catch myself. Now, I will say, I absolutely love Ursula. I think she's my favourite villain because in my mind, she's not actually a villain. Ariel was just a fool throwing away her voice for a stupid man who didn't even seem to really realise that she wasn't able to communicate. Like, the fuck is that about? Maybe it's just because I'm autistic. It's very hard for me to have a voice that I get really annoyed when somebody else just kind of goes, I can't be bothered using a voice. I'll get rid of it for a man. I'm like, oh no, what a mistake that is to make. I love that Ursula could have taken any form and she just decided, no, I'm going to be a sea witch with loads of legs. And I'm like, yes. Basically, I want to be Ursula. I just think she's so cool. Not bad. This is one of the more expensive items, but I think actually not a bad one at all. Wet n Wild's quality when it comes to eyeshadow palettes tends to be pretty good. So if you're in the US and you're into a Walmart, you might like that. I do wish they had more matte colourful shades because the colourful shades that are in there are more shimmery toned. So you're going to be very prohibited in terms of what you can do, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad one. Then we have the other Fiery Femmes, which is the Cruella palette along with the Evil Queen from Snow White. This is kind of what you would expect with the two of them paired in together. It's a much more everyday wearable sort of a palette. There's not a lot of neutrals in there. I like that there's a black matte in there. I probably wouldn't get as much wear out of this because there's like reds etc in there, and I'm a bit weird about reds. I like some reds, but I like them to be more metallic-y because that's kind of interesting. It pops out. It's fine. Again, not a bad one. They've pretty decent quality, so I don't hate it. We're then on to the blushes and the lip glosses. You know what? I don't hate those. I think they're really cute. I'd like to see them on, particularly the lip glosses. They look super cute. The blushes, I like that there's a blush in there that is very neutral. It's almost somewhere between contour and bronze. A bit more contour because it's more cool toned, and I quite like that. It's more of a neutral sort of a blush. Really interesting. I don't hate that. Yeah, I actually think those are pretty darn cute. Then we have the sort of jelly sticks. They're all over the place. I don't hate that. that. I think it's actually quite cute. I want to see them swatched though, because I can't find any information on what they look like, but in principle, I don't hate the idea of it, and I'd like to see what it would look like on the eye, because I am a bit obsessed with jelly stick kajiggers these days. It's an issue, I know. Then we also have the blushes that are in the sticks. They look pretty nice as well. I don't hate them. Again, reserving judgment because I don't see what they look like on the skin. The color changing lip balms, absolutely not. I don't like those sort of things. Like, they look really interesting as part of the tube themselves, like, you know, that red black, that green black, that purple black, but then it looks like it just fades out into varying shades of pink and purple, which is just like the pH color changing nonsense, and I don't like that. It's not for me. The two-toned kind of stick, that's kind of interesting. I guess they're using that as blushes. It's not a bad one. The mascaras in lots of different colors, that's quite nice. I like that. And Wet n Wild aren't a bad one. I haven't tried them for mascaras, but it doesn't seem like a terrible one to me. The makeup bags look like a lot of fun. I like the one that says "not that impressed." That feels very, very on the nose for me and how I'm apparently approaching life these days. So I quite like that. I feel like "not that impressed" fits a bit more with Ursula. I'd like that to be on Ursula because, like I said, Ursula's my bae. I love her. I just think she's fantastic. Yeah, don't hate that. The eyeliners, etc., they're grand in the nicest way. They look fine, but I'm okay. Don't necessarily need them. There's a lot of stuff in this. Even in terms of, there's a setting spray. I've no idea what the story is there or what it's meant to do. Like, it's a finishing mist, so is it like hydrating? Is it what? I don't know. I guess if you wanted it, it's there. The little mirrors are really, really cute. Like, even the kickstand one that you can just have sitting on your desk. I think that's pretty cool. And of course they have some face gems, which are not a bad one, particularly coming into a Halloween or Hallows Eve, depending upon what way you're looking at life. I don't think it's a bad collection. Do I think they needed absolutely everything in it? No, not really. But Wet n Wild is kind of one of those brands that they're like, we've got the IP, we'll run with it. Let's have 50 million ideas. And you're like, whoa. Somebody needs to control the amount of caffeine that is given out at the Wet n Wild headquarters, because it's clearly too much. There's a lot of stuff happening here. In saying that, when I'm looking at this, the very few pieces that I'd sit here and be like, bleh. It's the colour changing lip balms. That's just a me thing. I know that's a me thing. There's probably loads of people out there who are like, oh my god, that's so cool, it's so fun, I love it. It's probably the IP that you could get away with it for. Do you know what I mean? So I'm in several minds about it. It's just not for me. The rest of it, it's okay. You know, it's nice when there's IPs like that that are affordable for people, but there's nothing that I would run out and necessarily get. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Just not for me. Then, I mean, how many brands have done a Harry Potter collab at this particular point? Eek. Right, if you had asked me 15 years ago, would I want a makeup brand to do a collab with Harry Potter? I'd have been like, yes, I'd love that. But now, with J.K. Rowling just continuing to be an absolute head melt, I mean, that's the nicest thing I can say. She is a head melt. And being so horrendous towards the trans community and explicitly stating that any money that she gets through Harry Potter IP, that she's putting that into efforts to take away whatever human rights there have been for trans people, gives me beyond pause. But I want to talk about this because sometimes people will get excited about Harry Potter and not necessarily understand all the stuff that comes around with that. Now, I'm not saying this to be like, you shouldn't go off and buy this, because it's not my place to tell you what to do. It's literally none of my business. I'm just telling you this so you can make an informed decision, because you mightn't have known that, okay? And in which case, I hope that I have helped you out to some degree. But Profusion have done a collaboration with Harry Potter. There's a few different things in it. There's the Dark Arts 15 shade eyeshadow palette for $11.97. The Dark Mark pH color changing blush lighter, you know my feelings on that, $9.97. The Morse Mordra illuminating setting spray for $9.97. A 4-piece Spells and Charms eyeliner pencil set for $11.97. A 3-piece Death Eater Bite color changing shimmer lip oil set for $11.97. Too many words. words in the title. The Nagini Cosmetics bag with face gems and temporary tattoo for $11.97 and a 5-piece Deathly Hallows blend makeup brush and sponge set for $11.97. This is all on Walmart. It's not over on Profusion's own website yet again, so it is what it is. I'll talk very briefly about this because, like I said, I personally don't feel comfortable supporting or putting any money into Harry Potter. It's my own thing. I don't want to do that. Not my business what you do or don't do. I'm just here to let you know what the story is. The eyeshadow palette, fine, it's grand. You know, I do like some of the individual shades in it, particularly, you'll be in no way surprised, Sectum Sempra. I love that shade. I think it's very, very pretty. I normally don't like marbled shades, but the shade Nox there makes an awful lot of sense. I couldn't find any swatches of it, but it's weirdly, the outside of the palette is a glow in the dark, so if you're into that sort of thing, I guess there you go. It's kind of the right time to come out with this coming into Halloween. It's fine. It's grand. If you like this colour story though, there's lots of other brands that you could get that from. I'm not dissing Profusion because I actually think they're a pretty good brand for the price tag, but maybe look, if you want to get Profusion, go and look across their other bits and pieces. Oh god, I'm kind of inadvertently telling you what to do. Sorry, again, not my job, but it's just those are my feelings and they do inadvertently wander out, so there you go. There's the makeup bag that comes with the temporary tattoo and the gems. I don't understand why they put the temporary tattoo and gems in with a bag. It seems so unnecessary. Like, I've had brands do that in the past and I'm like, I fucking don't want this nonsense. Like, no thanks, I just want the bag. The bag itself, I'm gonna say it, looks a bit cheap, looks a bit tacky. Not worth it in my opinion. The brushes and the, little pot, they look okay. They're fairly generic shapes of brushes. They'd probably be alright in the nicest way possible. Don't care. I have a million brushes here. Well, not a million, but you know, I have a lot of brushes. I'm quite happy with the brushes that I have. I don't need any more. The lip oils, yeah, I mean, they're grand, I guess. pH bullshit. I mean, if you're going to do something that I'm going to hate, you might as well put a bit of pH into it to really make me feel a certain way about it. Yeah, the colour changing shimmer lip oil. When they're saying colour changing, they haven't said that there's pH in it, but I'm assuming that there is. Like, again, don't care in the nicest way. Probably the green one is the one that I'd be the most interested in, but even then I'm like, don't care. The illuminating setting spray looks really strange. Like, is the liquid actually green? And does it glow in the dark? What's going on there? This seemed like extremely confusing to me. I don't know what's going on there. It's more Halloween-y than anything else. The eyeliners, they seem okay. You know, the shades are all right. A bit generic, a bit blah. Don't care in the nicest way. The blush lighter. Again, it's either a blush or the blush lighter. Are you trying to say it's a blush but also a highlighter? It's not. What the fuck? It's just a stupid pH changing blush. It is terrible and it looks really tacky and really cheap. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like anything from this. I think it's stupid. Yeah, in terms of the whole collection, obviously I'm not going to get anything from it. It's, again, my own thing. I amn't into it. But yeah, there's nothing in this. They're really banking on people being like, I love Harry Potter, which is what a lot of brands do when they get IPs. But oof, not a good one. Not a good one. Again, I won't remember this in a year's time because I'll have repressed it because it's all nonsense. But this next one, what a palette cleanser. I am so excited about this. This is apparently on sale right now in the States, to which I'm like, bring it over here. They did this before. MAC Cosmetics, when they did their Nocturna collection, it only became available here in Ireland and UK today as I'm filming, and I got way too excited and ended up buying. But sorry, bring it back. What happens is they come out with things and then it takes a long time to get to Europe. So I'm very excited about when this does eventually come to Europe, but it's available in the States right now. It's the MAC Pro Lip Erase. There we go. I managed to calm myself down ever so slightly. So there's 10 shades of this. They're $25 each. Essentially, concealer lips are back and I am so excited. Because I have been, how many times have we all been looking for nuder shades or trying to like lighten shades that we have? Maybe it's just me. I can't just be me. I know there's definitely a few of us. How many people have been talking about Fleshpot and that it's not light enough, it's more peachy toned, etc. This seems to be the answer. And they say that it instantly erases your lip tone and pigmentation. It features a lightweight, balmy texture, and it's available in a range of artist-curated shades. And basically the shades are varying from like light all the way through to deep, and either are cool or neutral tones. None of them are warm, which I'm like, yes. And you can really see they have it on half the lips so that you can see how much it's like actually cancelling out the pigmentation. They're $25 each, and I am so excited. Okay, when I'm looking at these, there's a couple of shades that I want. Not all of them, because I'm very good and I'm learning. Light cool is exactly what I want. I want to look like every drop of blood has been taken from my body and I am but a disgusting, weird corpse. This is what I want. I want to go back to that time where people had concealer lips, because I missed that, and apparently I'm trying to relive my youth. But look at the level to which it actually blocks out the pinkness. I love that. I'd put that with a really nice dark lip liner and just swatch it, buff it out. It'd look so good. Then the next one is light neutral. This is leaning a little bit more warm toned, but I don't hate it. I think I'd just vibe a little bit more with light cool. That's my whole thing. Again, you can really see it is cancelling it out really well. They have light medium cool. Again, I want that one. I do. I want the cool toned one. And the light ones. This might be a little bit deeper on me because again, I am a ghost, and that's okay. I've been dead for 50 years. It just is what it is. Wouldn't it be weird if somebody did actually watch this in like 70 years time? It was like, God, she actually has been dead for 50 years. That's a weird thought. I like that particular shade. Then you've light medium neutral. I personally feel they start to go a little bit more yellow toned. Not necessarily a bad thing, but just for me, I wouldn't go for that. That's my whole thing. We have medium cool. I'm loving that. That is looking gorgeous. Then medium neutral, and I appreciate that they're showing again the before and after and the extent to which they're blocking out the pigmentation. There's deep cool, which is just you can tell makeup artists have helped to curate this. There's deep neutral, which is again actually giving concealer lips for people who have a deeper skin color, and I really appreciate that. We're on to the final two, lads. There's rich cool, which I mean, it just, the way that they've pictured that looks so good. And there's rich neutral. Yeah, I am so excited about this. I feel like it's done so well. This is such a smart product. I like that it's also in the little pots, because this is going to be so useful for a lot of pros, because yes, you could do it as a lipstick, but I think a lot of pros anyways with their lipsticks, they decant them out and they have them in like little trays, etc. So this kind of cuts out the middleman on that, and a lot of us would kind of be popping that onto maybe the middle and having a little bit more of an ombre lip. I am so excited. $25. Yes. I just feel like MAC have been kind of doing a lot of interesting stuff recently. I am very excited about it. I won't lie, I'm very excited about it. I did also pick up some of the stuff from the Nocturna collection, but I was very good. I only bought 2 lipsticks and the face and eye palette, because I'm a good girl. I'm learning. That's me being like even tempered on stuff. I'm very excited about it. And we're now on to the sneak peeks, and this one is quite interesting. So Tati Westbrook, if you don't know her, bizarre that you don't, because she's like a massive YouTuber, and she had her height a couple of years ago, definitely not as popular as she once was, but she had a brand before and there was a whole thing around that, but she's coming out with the brand again, but this time it's called Details by Tati, and I'm kind of like, she's coming out with brushes, which is grand, they look okay, but come on now, you should have done that eyeshadow palette, because everyone still talks about that. Could have done a, you know, an amplified version of that. Like, maybe you couldn't due to copyright, but you could have taken a version of it, you know? It just seems like I'm looking at those brushes and there's nothing from the look of them that I'm like, yeah, those are shapes I'm really interested in. And I'm a brush hoe, I love brushes, but it just feels like an odd one. Mind you, sometimes she has her kind of finger on the pulse. Like, she came out with the Blendiful and then everyone started doing those. Like, they became really popular. But with brushes, I think it's a little bit more difficult to really do something quite interesting. So I don't know, I'm sure she'll do it well, but this just isn't very interesting to me. We then have Makeup Forever, who have sneak peeked the fact that they're doing a new HD Skin full cover concealer, and they've shown it on a model here, and it looks really good. I'm like, where the fuck is it? Where is that concealer? I also want to see a before and after of that model skin just to see what the story is, but I'm interested. I like Makeup Forever a lot. There's nothing that I've tried from them that I've been like, oh, I don't like this. So this is very interesting to me. I don't love that it's a double-ended applicator. That's just, you know, my feelings on those sort of things, but I have the intrigue. We then have Klarity Cosmetics, who have shown us the outside of their Pure Petals palette, which they said is Lily's little sister. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I'm very excited. You guys know I'm a disgusting affiliate. My code, Teresa, gets your money off, blah, 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 blah. But I do like a lot of their flowery collections. I have quite a few of them, like the Lily and the Bloom, etc. So I haven't bought from them in a while, just because I've been trying to be good, but this could be interesting. But oh, this next one I'm very, very interested in. They are planning on launching, they said should we launch these? And I was like, we know you're gonna launch these two. These are 2 new shades of singles and they look, oh my god. You know, just give me a bucket of it and dip me in it like I'm a biscuit, right? That's what I want. That's how I want to go, right? For when I do die, just paint me that colour. Either of those colours. Paint me half and half, right? This could be a really weird request for the funeral home. But they look beautiful and so shimmery, so gorgeous. I do think that that's what Klarity does really, really well, are those sort of duochrome shimmery bits, because they are fabulous. Very, very excited about that. Then the very last thing, I haven't talked about Glamlite in a while, but we'll briefly mention them here because they've gotten another IP. Of course they did. They got like 100 IPs. They have hundreds of IPs. This time it's with Saw. So they essentially presented this video kind of going, oh, Saw is coming, blah, blah, blah. There will be blood and glam. Okay, I guess. Too many IPs. Chill out. I've said it before, they had a couple of issues around their customer service and some of their items just not being as advertised. So for example, there was a thing several months ago where they had lip glosses and they were not filled properly. Like they didn't have any product in it. They sent empty tubes to people and they blocked the person. It was a whole thing. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff. I don't know what the story is with Glamlite. There will, I'm sure, be a mirror in there because they're like, let's do a mirror. They've done so many things at this point that it's kind of impossible for them to do something new. I can't see myself getting excited about it, but there you go. Anyways, my gorgeous friends, that is it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. I do have my favourite comment, and this is from the lovely Janet, who said, I guess I'm glad I missed the 2016 makeup trend of super matte barrier application, but it was so iconic. I agree, it was really iconic. Like, there's a point where you look back at that makeup and kind of go, wow, there was a lot of like artistry in that. And now we've like full reversed it and gone into like clean girl, clean boy, clean person aesthetic. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not gonna shit on it. But it is fun to see that artistry. Thankfully there are people out there who do artistry, etc. But like, it was a time. What a time it was. I feel like a little bit nostalgic towards it, but there you go. Anyways, my gorgeous friends, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell because it is polite, and do please share because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up. Don't be gross, but that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.